Hello, my name is Ray Miramontes, and I will be doing a presentation over the Sinaloa cartel. To get started, I want to go over some vocabulary that's used when referring to Mexican cartels that you might not understand or get. Uh, the word plaza is a point of entry into the United States that is used to smuggle drugs. The term sicario is a hitman, and narco is a person involved in the trade of drugs. To get started, I kind of want to go over uh, the way of life in Sinaloa. Um, so most of the people that live in Sinaloa are poor. They do things like they're ranchers, um, small time work like that. And these people look at the drug dealers, and they're driving around with their nice SUVs and sports cars. And these drug dealers are from the same area as them, but yet they're making millions or thousands of dollars. And I want to mention that the theory of differential association can be brought into this. This theory states that all behavior, lawful and criminal, is learned. Learning the techniques of sophisticated criminality requires a proper environment. So in Sinaloa, the norms are drugs, the norms are murder, things like that aren't looked at as taboo as they're looked at in our society. So, the kids, either the young men here, can either be ranchers like their fathers and have a hard time making ends meet, or go work for the cartel and make money and live a good life. So the Sinaloa cartel came to be after the Guadalajara cartel got dismantled. Um, it got dismantled when Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo was arrested in Guadalajara. He left. It was a huge cartel that split into different ones, like the Gulf cartel, the Sinaloa cartel, Tijuana cartel. All those cartels came from the Guadalajara cartel. So Sinaloa is located right here in this area right here. And now I'm going to talk about the cartel structure. The Sinaloa cartel is a lot more different than any other cartel when it comes to their structure. Most cartels have a vertical structure, which means that they have a leader, then it just trickles down. The Sinaloa cartel, on the other hand, they have a horizontal structure. So it's kind of like a federation. So what theirs looks like is a bunch of kingpins that all congregate and make decisions. It's a group decision, and they don't only have one leader. They also have subsidiaries that make decisions outside of Mexico. So let's say one of the members gets arrested and he was a key member. To avoid all that chaos and stuff, the subsidiary they make choices. They make the choices for the cartel to keep things flowing. The cartel's key members, one of them is El Chapo Guzman. You can see his picture right here. That's El Chapo Guzman. His full name is Joaquin Loera Guzman. He's escaped prison twice. He's been arrested 3 times. The first time he escaped prison was in 2001 when he bribed a lot of the guards in the prison, and he climbed inside of the dirty laundry basket of the prison, and a guard took him out of the prison inside of that. He was arrested again in 2014 and escaped in 2015. This escape, he had a tunnel built from a warehouse that was a mile away from the prison. He had a mile tunnel built right under his cell. So he opened up a hole that was in his toilet, and he climbed in through there, and he escaped. He was able to It was I want to say it was a motorcycle that he drove through the tunnel for a mile, and that's what aided his escape. The tunnel was said to be worth $5 million, and it was a lot of manpower in order to have that built. Another key player in this is El Mayo Zambada, right there. That's him. He, unlike El Chapo, he's never been arrested. He is 69 years old, and he's a very seasoned narco. He knows the ins and outs of the drug trade since he was a teen. So he's still living in the mountains of Sinaloa. El Chapo got arrested in 2016, and he got extradited into the United States, and he's awaiting trial right now. The cartel's drug operation. So the Sinaloa cartel is a drug-oriented group, meaning they focus the majority of their operation on drugs, the smuggling of drugs, the making of drugs. And as you can see, they're a very how do you say it, organized cartel. So they not only smuggle drugs outside of Mexico, but they have to get them inside of Mexico. So they get cocaine from Colombia. The Colombian cartels give them the drugs to smuggle into Mexico, and they smuggle them into Culiacan right here. So once it's in Culiacan, it goes up north into the plazas right here, and then it just keeps going all the way up north. Notice how when it hits Chicago, it says right here, from Chicago, drugs travel basically everywhere. So they go to Ohio, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, all that. They also manufacture meth. They grow marijuana. They cross it over in many different ways. They cross it to the United States, sometimes, through cars, 18-wheelers, smuggling them in. El Chapo Guzman, he came up with an idea of building tunnels under the border. So this one instance, he built a tunnel, $1 million tunnel, from Tijuana to the San Diego area. And he managed to have this tunnel built, and it goes for miles and miles. And only the cartel knows where these tunnels are located, because once these workers, the workers of the tunnels, are people who are in desperate need of work, or people who the cartel has kidnapped. So once the cartel gets these people, they say, we're going to pay you to build this tunnel. So once the tunnel's done and it's payday, the cartel sicarios come in and kill everybody except the engineer. Then the engineer is told to once again build another one, and they get new people to help build. So only the cartel members and the engineer know where this tunnel is located, which is why they're able to successfully, keep it a secret and keep the flow of drugs coming into the United States without any problems. I'm going to touch on plaza battles with you guys. The Sinaloa cartel is known to have caused many plaza battles because they want to control the plaza so that their smuggling operations can be easier. So one of these battles was with the Tijuana cartel. The Sinaloa cartel wanted the Tijuana plaza, and so they started battling it out. Many people died. The Tijuana cartel was tired of it, and they wanted to have one of the key members of the Sinaloa cartel killed. So they got their sicarios to go kill El Chapo Guzman. The sicarios thought they had the right car, and they saw a white car, which was what El Chapo was supposed to be driving in Guadalajara. They saw their car, they saw his car, and opened fire, and ended up killing everybody inside. They had the wrong car, and they accidentally killed Cardinal Posadas Ocampo, which is, a huge religious figure in Mexico. So this brought on a lot of heat from the authorities for both cartels. It wasn't pretty. After that, they kind of like left it alone. The Sinaloa does run some of operations in Tijuana, but it's not. They didn't get control of that plaza. Another battle that I want to talk about is the war for the Juarez Plaza in Ciudad Juarez. That was a war the Sinaloa cartel, uh, I guess, battled it out with the Juarez cartel. It was a very, very violent battle. I mean, I lived in El Paso during this time, and you would hear in the news that people are getting hung from bridges. Nightclubs. If the Juarez cartel owned a nightclub or a restaurant, the Sinaloa cartel would go in there and kill all the customers, kill all the employees, just to show the Juarez cartel, we're here, this is our town. This started in 2008 and it ended in 2012. The Sinaloa cartel came out victorious in this battle. What else? Well, they came out victorious, and right now they are currently in charge of that area. They control the Juarez Plaza. These battles bring a lot of enemies for the Sinaloa cartel. Their enemies are Los Zetas cartel, Tijuana cartel, and the Beltran Leyva cartel. They also have allies, though. The Sinaloa cartel is allied with the Gulf cartel and the Knights Templars cartel. They also have a lot of, well-known businessmen, politicians, and police chiefs in their pocket, so that always comes in handy for them. The government is trying to stop them. In 2008, the Merida Initiative, the U.S. gave them $2.5 billion in military equipment to kind of help with all the violence that was going on in Mexico at the time, to kind of aid Mexico. Excuse me. Also, it's a big problem that most of these guns that the cartel has are high caliber weapons, and these weapons come in from the United States down south. So the ATF got together with Mexican officials and things like that, and the U.S. took on that we're going to start being more responsible with our border crossing when they're going down south to prevent the, bringing in high caliber weapons into Mexico. Another thing that they're doing is to try to stop the cartel violence is training the policemen better, and having all these speeches about how corruption's bad and all that stuff. Me personally, I don't think that any like the Merida Initiative, all that stuff, I don't think that that's helping. I think that that's just for show by the government. The corruption there is just terrible. So I think that what needs to happen is the corruption and the politicians need to stop. The policemen need to get paid higher salaries in order to avoid the corruption. I went ahead and thought of a few questions that I think you guys might ask, just to help you guys clear things up. So the main leaders of the Sinaloa cartel, as of recent studies, is El Chapo Guzman, El Mayo Zambada, and El Azul Esparragosa. El Chapo, as we know, is in prison here in the United States, and El Azul is said to be dead, but nobody has come up, so they're just thinking that he said he's dead, people are saying he's dead, but he's actually alive, still running things. El Mayo Zambada right now is taking care of the operation while El Chapo is in prison. Another question is, what are important plazas? The Tijuana Plaza is very important. It leads to the California, San Diego area. The Juarez Plaza is another important one. It leads into El Paso, Texas. And the Nuevo Laredo Plaza is also important. It leads to Laredo, Texas. And another question I think you guys might have had was, what is the Sinaloa cartel's main export? Their main export, that makes them the most money is cocaine and heroin. But they also deal in pills, any drug that they can get their hands of. They're smuggling it into the U.S. And that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.